Hi, my name is Sripad. Today's explainer is the first part of a two-part series on airport collaborative decision-making. In this video, I'll break down the ACDM concept and why it plays such a critical role in improving predictability, efficiency, and on-time performance. In the next video, we'll go deeper into each milestone step by step. Let's begin.
Okay, so let's jump right into the heart of a frustration I think we have all felt. Of course you have. We all have. You're just waiting, and then the pilot comes on and says there's a delay due to congestion. It's such a vague answer, right? It doesn't really explain anything. But the real reason is usually this complex chain reaction of little problems that started way before your plane even pushed back from the gate. I mean, just think about it for a second. You've got the airline, you've got the ground crew handling bags and fuel, you've got the gate agents, and of course, air traffic control. They're all different teams. And for the longest time, they've kind of worked in their own little bubbles, each with just one piece of the puzzle. So when one tiny thing changes, say your flight arrives just 5 minutes late, it can set off this cascade of delays, and nobody has the full picture to stop it.
So how do you possibly fix a problem like that? Well, what if you could give the entire airport one giant shared brain?
This is the simple, powerful idea behind something called ACDM. The best way to think about it is like giving a symphony orchestra a single conductor. Instead of every musician kind of doing their own thing, they're all perfectly in sync, watching the same leader, and they know exactly what's coming next. You get harmony instead of noise.
So here's the official name for it: Airport Collaborative Decision-Making. But forget the jargon for a second. The two words you really need to remember here are collaborative and sharing. This isn't just about some fancy new software. It's a whole new way of thinking, of getting everybody to finally work together.
And this really shows you the difference. On the left, that's the old way. Total information chaos. Everyone has a different piece of the story, which just leads to guesswork and delays. But on the right, with ACDM, boom, everyone is looking at the exact same information, at the exact same time. It's a single source of truth, and that shared view is what makes the entire airport smarter.
So we get the what and the why. But now let's look at how this actually works on the ground. We're going to follow one aircraft on its entire journey through the airport. The real magic behind ACDM is something called the milestones approach. The system doesn't just guess when a plane's going to be ready. No, it tracks it through 16 very specific moments in its journey, all the way from when the flight plan is first filed, hours before departure, right up to the second it takes off. And those 16 milestones, they're grouped into these 4 main phases. First up is arrival, where the system tracks the plane as it lands and gets to the gate. Then, the moment it's on blocks and parked, the turnaround phase begins. This is where the system calculates a super important number, the target off-block time, or TOBT, which is the best guess for when it'll be ready to push back. In the preparation phase, everyone works to hit that target. And finally, departure. When the plane gets its official go time, the target startup approval time, or TSAT, and it's sequenced perfectly into the takeoff queue.
And this right here is why that milestone approach is so brilliant. Every time one of those little milestones is hit, the plane lands, the bags start loading, fueling is done, that new info gets fed back into the system, and it uses that info to make the next prediction even more accurate. So the timeline is constantly being refined, getting smarter and more precise the closer the flight gets to departure. It's a self-correcting, intelligent process.
Now, a system like this is only as good as the people who use it. And this is where that collaborative part really comes to life.
ACDM brings all these different players onto the same team. You've got the airport operator, the folks who run the actual airport. You've got the airline, the aircraft operator. Then you have the ground handlers doing everything from refueling to catering. Of course, you have air traffic control managing the taxiways and runways. And, this is crucial, they're all connected to the network manager, the organization that's coordinating traffic across the entire continent.
Before ACDM, these teams might only talk to each other when something went wrong. Now, they are constantly sharing information through this one platform. They're all looking at the same live playbook, which lets them see problems coming from a mile away and make decisions together, in real time, to keep everything flowing smoothly.
Okay, I know that's a lot of technical stuff, but what does all this collaboration and data sharing actually mean for your trip? Why should you care?
Let's start with this number, 3 minutes. Now, I know 3 minutes might not sound like a big deal, but when you multiply that by thousands of flights every single day at an airport, the savings in fuel, in emissions, and just in pure congestion are absolutely massive. It means less time for you sitting in a line of planes on the taxiway just burning fuel.
And that little 3-minute saving is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a symptom of a much, much healthier system.
Predictability goes through the roof, which means that flight information you see on the departure board is actually accurate. Delays get slashed, and all the airport's resources, like gates and runways, are used way more efficiently.
So the bottom line, the real payoff for you, the passenger, is a travel experience that is just more reliable. Your flight is far more likely to be on time. You spend less time waiting around on the tarmac. The information you get is more trustworthy. It's just a smarter, leaner, and honestly, a greener way to run an airport.
When you step back, ACDM is just an amazing proof of concept. It shows that when you can get all the different players in a complicated system to share information and work from the same script, you can solve these incredibly complex logistical nightmares. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this kind of radical collaboration can fix airports, what other massive, chaotic systems in our world are next?